Are you ready to take back your time when it comes to social media? Hey everybody, Katie Lance here, founder and CEO of Katie Lance Consulting, the Get Social Smart Academy, and author of the book Get Social Smart, and it's episode 85 of the Get Social Smart Show. And today I am sharing with you a few of my favorite time-saving secrets when it comes to social media. Now, can we get real? Let's face it, when it comes to social media, we could literally spend all day just hanging out on Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, all the different social media platforms.
Wow.
But let me just say, I'm in the business of social media and I'm not hanging out on social media all day long. And I'm a huge believer in the fact that you don't have to be everywhere. You don't have to be all things to all people. And you certainly don't need to spend all day on social media. I believe it so much, I actually wrote the book all about how to get smart about social media. So I'm going to share with you a few of my tried and true tricks and strategies for getting smarter with your time when it comes to social media. Okay, first and foremost, you've got to plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? That's a famous quote, and I'm a huge believer in that. So you've got to figure out when you're going to spend time on social media, and it has to become part of your just daily habit, your daily routine. For me, I do a lot of my social media kind of early in the morning. I've got my cup of coffee, I'm kind of my routine where I'm scrolling through Facebook and my other social media platforms. I'm looking for notifications and I'm looking to connect with people. Anytime I'm spending time on social media, unless it's just something for fun, but typically when I'm spending time on social media during the work week, I am trying to be really intentional about it. So instead of getting like wrapped up in cat videos or what somebody had for breakfast or the latest drama somebody's posting about, what I'm looking for are moments of opportunity to connect in a really real way. When you think about social media, people tend to post their high highs and their low lows. So I'm always looking for moments of opportunity to say congratulations, or I'm so happy for you, or I'm thinking about you, whatever that might be. I also make sure not to just run through and like a bunch of things. Don't be a drive-by liker, but really take the time to write something thoughtful. And in a perfect world, use their name. You know, I know this is sort of a tactic that gets talked a lot about when you hear people talk about sales and how to connect with people, but there is something about someone's name. When I say, instead of just saying congratulations, I can say, congratulations, Susie, I'm so happy for you and your family. That small thing makes a really big difference. I'll also take that a step further, and if I see something has gotten, hundreds and hundreds of comments, I might take that as a moment of opportunity to send them a private message through Facebook Messenger. I might even use the audio feature within Facebook Messenger, which is one of my favorite secret hidden tools within Facebook Messenger. Did you know you could do this? You could leave a little audio message within Facebook Messenger, which is awesome if you're not camera ready. So you can just leave a little audio message. Just say, hey, Susie, I saw your post today. I just want to reach out and say congratulations. I'm so happy for you and your family. There's something really powerful about doing that. I might also send a video, but at least a quick message. Being intentional is super, super key. So you've got to put it in your schedule. You've got to be really intentional when it comes to how you're going to connect with people. The other thing that makes a big difference is actually time blocking when you're doing some of the things that you're doing when it comes to social media. So for me, typically on a Friday afternoon, it's a little bit quieter. That's when I like to schedule out some of my content, especially for Facebook, Twitter, even a little bit on Instagram and sometimes on LinkedIn. Now, I say this carefully because I don't want you to think that I believe in set it and forget it or automate everything. Quite the contrary. I don't want you to set it and forget it. I don't want you to automate everything. But I can tell you from personal experience that by scheduling a little bit of your content, by looking ahead, it gives you a little bit of that freedom to post things in the moment, right? So if I sit down on a Friday, I'll schedule out maybe the next 2, 3, maybe even 4 or 5 days. I don't schedule weeks or months out, but I'll schedule the next few days, and it'll give me a sense to look ahead of what's coming up for the week ahead. What are some things that I want to post, that I want to promote? Maybe I want to reshare a piece of content, whatever that might be. Which leads me to the other point that I think is really important when it comes to social media and time management, and that is thinking of your life as content. When I'm out and about, a lot of what I do on social media is because I really am intentional about trying to share things that are beautiful, that are inspiring to me. So whether it's maybe a great glass of wine, or my sort of obsession with Hello Kitty, or a beautiful sunset, or pictures with my kids. If you and I are connected on social media, you've seen lots of pictures of my boys on social media. And so it's a small thing that makes a big difference, but looking at your life as content, I think, is key. Another big tip is to sit down and batch create some of your content. So one of the things I've been doing for at least the last 18 months is I sit down and create all my video content all in one shot for the month. I set aside usually about 2 hours or so where I can do my hair and makeup and I can get all my thoughts together, and I sit down and I just bust it all out. And I'm a big believer in that, because if I'm going to do my hair and makeup and do one video, I might as well sit down and do 4 or 5. So I do that each and every month, and that idea of batch creating your content makes a big difference. I do that with my Instagram content. A lot of times I'll sit down and create a number of graphics all in one setting, and then I've got not just one graphic that I'm going to share tomorrow, but I've got 5 or 10 or maybe even 15 that I'm going to use over the next few weeks. So this idea of kind of batch creating your content, I think, is key, and that comes down to this whole thing with social media and time management. Is really kind of 2 pieces of the puzzle. The first part is that relationship building, being really intentional, connecting, and the other part of it is the content that you're going to create. Now, I can tell you right now that for a lot of folks, they're still looking for that easy button, right? That person to sort of do it all for them, to sort of automate everything, and you know, again, sort of that set it and forget it. And I can just tell you from personal experience that the agents and brokers and entrepreneurs and business owners that are getting the most out of social media, really one of the things they're doing really, really well is they're creating unique content. They're putting their voice out there, just like what I'm doing right here, right? There's lots of videos about social media time management. There's probably thousands or millions of videos, but nobody's going to say it the way I'm saying it. And when you create your own content too, the more you do it, the better it gets. So the first few videos you do, the first few times you do an Instagram story or a Snapchat, it's going to feel weird and awkward and not quite totally comfortable until you find your voice. And when I was at Inman Connect earlier this year, there was a great speaker on stage that talked about finding your voice. And they said the way you find your voice is you think about what you sound like, your opinion, what are things that you would normally talk about, and then over here are things that nobody else is really saying, and your voice is kind of the intersection of that, right? So how do you say things? What's your opinion? And then what are some things that not a whole lot of people are talking about in your market, in your industry? And that middle spot, that sweet spot, that's your voice. And that just comes from experience. That comes from practice, just like anything else. The last big tip I want to give you when it comes to social media time management is you've got to get a system together, especially with project management. So I'm speaking to those of you who've been doing this a while and you're like, okay, I've got it. I'm creating content. I'm spending time on social media. I understand the value of relationship building, but holy cow, Katie, I cannot keep up with it all. So if that's you, I want to highly recommend 2 project management tools that I think are invaluable. One is Asana and the other one is Trello. Both of those are fantastic tools. We've been using Asana with our team for years and years. Trello is also a really fantastic tool. And the reason why we use it is because it's not just me who's involved in our social media and our marketing. We have a small team, and as much as I am still the face and the voice of what we do, there's a lot that happens behind the scenes that I don't necessarily need to have my hands in. So for example, we've got a great video editor who's editing this video right now as we speak. Shout out to Russell, he's awesome. Woo woo. We'll put his link in the comments below if you're over on YouTube. But he's someone who's part of our team. We have a great marketing coordinator, Megan, who helps with some of the things we do in terms of promotion on social media. We've got Tia, who's our great community manager, who really kind of helps me dig into the comments and helps people answer questions when it comes to our social media content. So there's lots of pieces of the puzzle when it comes to our team, and all of that doesn't necessarily need to happen through email, and that's where a tool like Asana or Trello can come into place. All right, I realize this video is a little bit longer than you normally expect from me, but I wanted to kind of dive in and give you some really real tools and techniques and things of how we think about social media and time management. So with that being said, I would love to hear from you. What are your biggest struggles when it comes to social media? Drop your questions in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. If you're over on YouTube, make sure you subscribe because we've got new videos coming out each and every week. And for more tools, tips, and techniques when it comes to social media, we'd love if you would check us out. Go over to katielance.com. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.